Hello guys, I'm back today to bring you a little bit of a chronology of the treatments that I have been on, when I started them, for how long I was on them, and perhaps also a little bit of a small comment on how I fared on them. I want to thank the person who suggested this topic, as I find it a very interesting topic that will be of great help to many of you being at the crossroads of having to choose one medication or the other. So the video is starting now. Before I get started with this video, I want to make a small disclaimer that this is in no way supposed to replace professional opinion on which treatment is most adequate for you. Also, my impression on these treatments is merely based on a personal experience, and my experience may vary greatly from your experience. So this video should in no way be taken as medical advice, merely sharing my personal experience. The day after getting diagnosed, the doctor asked me very politely if I was willing to consider taking a disease-modifying treatment, to which I replied immediately, like, of course, please do. Give me something to stop this monster. This was back in 2013, November 2013 to be precise. And I was put on Avonex, which is the weekly injections that you have to inject into your thigh muscles. From my experience, however, this medication was absolutely unbearable. I know that many people are very happy taking Avonex or any other intramuscular injection, but in my case, I had to take horse doses of painkillers and fever reducers prior to taking the injection. And I remember the injection itself scared me so much, made me feel so uneasy, just the thought of having to press the button, because it was pressing a button and the needle will release into the muscle. So I would be there holding the needle, and my boyfriend would be by my side holding my hand, just because I was so terrified also of what came after the injection. Indeed, I would be bedridden for the next 2 days with the most horrible flu. I would have a fever. I would wake up in the middle of the night shaking. The day after, I'd be completely destroyed, wiped out, unable to do anything, which led to me having to take 2 days off after the injection. So that was a very tough pill to swallow. And I have to say that felt like it changed my life much more than the multiple sclerosis itself. Now, after 6 months of being on this treatment, I developed a new attack. This was a mild attack of optic neuritis, which as soon as I mentioned it to my doctor, they reacted immediately and they considered this to be unacceptable, for which reason they changed the treatment, considering that the treatment was not being sufficiently effective on me. So after the Avonex, this would be then June 2014, I was put on Taizabri. Taizabri is the monthly infusion for which you have to go to the hospital and be there for, I think it was like a couple of hours or 3 hours. I don't remember exactly how long. But for this medication, I would have to be tested for what is known as a JC virus. If you're an MS patient, you may have heard of this virus, which no one else in the world is familiar with, even though 80% of us have this virus in our bodies, in our brains, without being aware of it. But The thing is that once you start taking these disease-modifying therapies, it's as if you're opening the gates of your brain for the virus, which is an opportunistic virus, to attack your brain. And should this virus attack your brain, it will cause a very, very nasty infection called PML, I believe. Like, this is very far back in the past, so I'm not 100% sure what these medical terms are. But in any case, it's a nasty infection for which you have to be monitored and tested. And should you be positive prior to being put on Taizabri, well, they may still choose to give you the Taizabri, but it's going to be acceptable for no longer than a year. So I was on Taizabri for only a year. And I have to say that being on Taizabri, I felt amazing. So I was very, very sad when I had to stop taking Taizabri and start with a different medication. This different medication, we're now talking about November 2015. That was Jelenia. Jelenia, the daily pill that you just take in the morning and then forget about it for the rest of the day. Well, it wasn't quite like that the first months, because I did experience some pretty nasty side effects at the beginning. And the beginning would be like the first 3 months, no longer than that. After which I was completely normal. Maybe a little bit more nauseous than would have been usual. But other than that, it would in no way impact my daily life. So I was quite happy on it. Now, for the first 3 months, the side effects that I had were intense nausea, intense anxiety, that I would have to curl in bed and sort of like wrap myself into the duvet and forget about everything around me, just because I was so anxious and so nauseous. And that was not pleasant. But this would last for like an hour, about like an hour after taking the medication. I would feel this anxiety creeping in, and it would last for an hour, after which I'd be able to carry on with my day. So I was on Jelenia for 2015 to 2020. So for 5 years on Jelenia. Although I have to say that I did experience one attack in 2018, which I talked about in this video up here, and another one in 2020. I mentioned this to my doctor, which they considered also to be unacceptable, which I'm very grateful for, them reacting so quickly to a new symptom. So 2020, as you know, was a difficult year with the pandemic and all that, with the lockdown. But still, they were able to schedule me for my first Aquaverse infusion. So I had to spend like 3 months without Jelenia. I had to stop from one day to the next taking Jelenia, and 3 months without it. So this was from June to September 2020. So prior to taking Aquaverse, besides not taking Jelenia, I also had to take various vaccines for various types of diseases, contagious viruses around there. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I'm pretty sure it was TB, hepatitis, and I don't remember. So I'm gonna have to apologize, but just so you know, you're gonna have to take vaccines prior to starting Aquaverse. So September 2020, started on Aquaverse. First half dose, which was taken in September, after which I had to take the second half dose. I don't remember. As much as I want to remember, I think it was like 3 months or 6 months after. Half dose, then another half dose for one full treatment. After which, 6 months later, I took the first full dose. After that, every 6 months, taking one full dose. And so on. Since September 2020, I've been on Aquaverse. Very happy on it. Mostly happy because go to the hospital once every 6 months. You'll lie there in the hospital bed and allow for the nurses to inject all sorts of things into your veins. Nothing to be alarmed about. It's paracetamol, antihistamine to prevent any allergic reactions caused by Aquaverse. These allergic reactions may be, I don't know, like itching, or you may feel like you have a knot in your throat. It's nothing alarming, and should this happen, just mention it to your nurse and he or she will increase the dose of antihistamines, which will make these symptoms subside immediately. So for the rest of the time of the infusion, you can just close your eyes and fall asleep and allow for the antihistamines to work its sleeping powers on you. So until this day, here I am still on Aquaverse, very happy on it, and I will say no more. I will allow for you to choose whichever treatment is most convenient for you. These were my experiences on the treatments, and I hope they've been very helpful for you guys. And please do shoot me any questions, should you have any. Should I have not explained something clearly enough, go ahead and leave me a comment down here. Please remember to subscribe, activate the bell below in order for you to be notified whenever I post a new video. In the meantime, guys, as usual, take very good care of yourselves. Stay calm, stay happy.